Hello and welcome to New York Crypto Talk. Today is a project review on QLC Chain, formerly known as QLink. This is one of the projects I've talked about in my Neo News articles because it is one of the projects that came out of the Neo Incubator as a NEP5 token and now is looking to go into its own mainnet in the next few months. So what is QLC Chain? Well, QLC Chain is described as a decentralized network as a service. So what exactly does that mean? Well, a network as a service usually includes the provision of a virtual network service by the owners of the infrastructure to a third party. Basically, this is utilizing existing network infrastructure and leveraging that functionality through a third party, QLC Chain being that third party. The most common examples of a network as a service is VPNs as well as mobile virtual network operators, so MVNOs. If you guys are not familiar what those are those are operators that don't own the radio spectrum, but they utilize the services and the utility for the customers. Examples are telecom providers. In the United States, there are a lot of telecom providers that are MVNOs, such as Boost Mobile, Cricket Mobile, TracFone, which is through Walmart. So these are operators that are networks as a service. So QLC Chain is going to be doing something very similar. They're going to be utilizing existing network infrastructure to build both VPN and Wi-Fi sharing through the blockchain, where everyone can operate and benefit from network services. So they're trying to make it much easier for individuals to leverage existing technology, existing broadband, existing internet connectivity with others, allowing it to be a lot more easy and affordable for people to utilize this service. So if we look at their website, I will jump through a couple of articles, a couple of key features of the project, their consensus mechanism, as well as their GitHub. The use case is right now for the service. So right now there are 2.3 billion people who are using mobile networks today, yet major problems remain unsolved. The oversupply of network capacity, undersupply of network access, the centralized operations, which thus means your security is compromised. The problem for network carriers is, as they say, it is just a dumb pipe where carriers have been left collecting relatively small service fees while Google and Amazon have online empires. And the question remains whether the current network can handle all the data growth moving forward with IoT and the AI era increasing as time goes on. So there's also rising competition and operating margin pressure. So as more competition increases, the margin gets lower and lower and lower. So that means that people are getting less money in the long run. So what is QLC Chain? What does it operate? How is it going to work? So they believe decentralization is the solution for the issues and the path to sustainable future network. QLC Chain is the public blockchain to enable decentralized network as a service. Our mission is to bring people online through a simpler, pleasant, and more secure way with full transparency. So they say how to become a micro network operator on QLC Chain, which there are thousands already. They have a test app right now, which is available in the Google Play Store, and I will show it to you. It's the WinQ app. But this is just an overview of the 5 main pieces of the project. So there is the QLC hardware. They will be offering QLC base stations that can support wireless mesh networks such as Wi-Fi and 4G and 5G once it is available, as well as any network device can be registered on the QLC Chain, so your mobile devices can be registered as a QLC hardware. Then there is the QLC Chain, which is the ledger dedicated for the transactions of the network services and the smart contract execution. There's the Shannon consensus, which is basically a much more improved proof of work, proof of stake consensus mechanism that allows for security as well as speed. So they split the way that it works on how proof of work and proof of stake works, and the nodes are split depending on how the system works. And I'll go into a little bit more on the Shannon consensus afterwards. There's the DApp ecosystem. So right now there is the first DApp already live, which is WinQ, but they will be looking at building other DApps for billing, for instant messaging, and many others, and that will be available through APIs and provided SDKs from QLC Chain. And then there's the actual QLC token, which is the utility token for value transfer within the ecosystem for purchasing network services within QLC. Looking at their roadmap, this is the revised roadmap. They did update it recently. So Q1 2018, this has already been successfully completed. They built the WinQD app with Wi-Fi sharing, Google Play Store. The P2P protocol has been integrated into the WinQ app. They also launched Wi-Fi billing smart contract within WinQ, and the VPN marketplace has also been launched. So right now they have Wi-Fi, P2P, billing, and VPN all built into the WinQ app already, which is awesome because I actually am a user of the WinQ app and I find it really easy to use, and it's really undervalued at this point. I don't think people realize the functionality behind it and how revolutionary it could be for blockchain and for any everyday user. So Q2 2018, they plan on working on the QLC chain development. The testnet internal test will be taking place. So Q3 2018, they will be live with their testnet. They will also be publishing the smart contract API as well as the wallet and explorer. And then Q4 is the major milestone, which is the public chain launch. The base station is going to be launched and the integration with IPFS for storage. Looking at the team and advisors, I have talked about Roger Lim in the past. He is one of the founding partners of Neo Global Capital. Tony Gu is also a founding partner of Neo Global Capital, so having two representatives from the Neo Global Capital team is always a plus in my opinion, as this was a Neo-born project. The R&D and operations team, they do have a very good group of individuals with some experience from Huawei and other tech areas in Asia. I definitely recommend everyone check out their LinkedIn profiles. They do vary from different experiences, and some companies I'm not too familiar with, so I can't go into too many details, but I have seen interviews with a lot of these individuals. They are very active on social media. They are very active when it comes to live streams, and they are very well spoken and they know what they're talking about. The partners that they have are with Binance, Ontology, Neo, Blockarray, Centro. They have industrial partners with Montnets and Intop. So I'll go a little bit more into some of the partnerships with Binance. They also have a new partnership with DWS Wi-Fi, which I'll talk about and how they're going to leverage that technology. Binance is one of the main focuses I'm going to talk about. To just give you a good representation of how the ecosystem works for QLink, they have a great representation of how they aim to provide a decentralized network for individuals, the owners and operators of the network, and anybody who touches any piece of the pie when it comes to the actual ecosystem. So how does it work? So there's the public chain, which is basically integration with the Neo chain for identity registration. They have the QLC chain, which is where the smart contracts are going to take place, as well as all of the consensus mechanism takes place on the QLC chain. The DApps are going to be built from the API and the provided SDKs. This could include name resolution, billing, firewall, search protocol, content search protocols. All this information can be built off of the QLC chain. Then there's the QLC hardware, which is basically your mobile devices or the base stations that they will be offering by fourth quarter this year. Then there's the QLC token, which is basically the operator. This is the transfer of the ecosystem for the services rendered within the platform. So moving to the application at hand. Right now, they do have the WinQ VPN Ultra Secure, Lightning Fast, Unlimited application available in the Google Play Store right now. You can download it, you can use it. There's many operators right now, so you can actually test it out, earn some money. Right now it is available on the Neo testnet, and they're doing that for the purpose that they want to be able to allow any users to be able to have it, so it's not a real value. Please don't send money to the WinQ app, because from the mainnet to the testnet it will not work and you will lose your tokens. So there's a lot of features and functionality behind the app. I won't go too much into this. I might do a deep dive into the WinQ app itself, but you can actually share your Wi-Fi, create a VPN network, and host that, and people can actually access it. So there's a lot of great information. You can get it on the Google Play Store. The iOS should be released in the next 2 weeks in testing phase, so probably won't not be available to the open market, but in the they just announced last week that it should be available in the next 2 weeks for testers only. You can check out their Telegram group for more information on that. So they realize right now with WinQ and crypto that moving WinQ to the Neo mainnet will cause a access barrier because they might not actually have tokens to utilize it. At least with the testnet, they get one Neo testnet token that they can use to register their funds and buy QLC tokens and utilize the service. So they are giving out real QLC tokens for certain individuals, the highest ranking individuals. So even though you're testing it, utilizing it as a free service, first off, it's not like you actually need to earn money, but you can actually earn some money from the actual test application, and they have been giving it out to certain individuals. They did update WinQ recently to make it easier to be able to actually access the information. One neat thing, if you guys are not familiar, they did announce that you can actually unblock the 2018 FIFA World Cup anywhere with the WinQ app. It is free to use, and you can actually use the VPN service on WinQ if you're in a region that is being blocked from the World Cup. Definitely check out WinQ because you can download it, set it up, and use the service to watch the World Cup and stream the information. So definitely check that out. But the WinQ app made it simplified to get started. They integrated Ethereum wallet into it. As I mentioned before, there's a partnership with Binance, and the main partnership is you can use the BNB token, the Binance token, within the application. This is going to create a high liquidity, I believe, for the QLC application, and I do feel that the Binance token being available allows for people to utilize the Binance token to buy QLC tokens directly in the app. And there's a nice integration there with the functionality of the Binance token, and I think the strategic partnership from Binance and QLC will go places, and I don't think people realize that the benefits of leveraging each one's functionality will be a huge plus in moving forward. Looking at their WinQ most profitable assets, this is a screenshot that they took on May 7, 2018. I know it's going to be a little blurry, guys, but if you look at the list, and I can share this image below, basically, there are people who are earning 40,000 tokens, 20,000, 20,000, 12,000, 6,000, 5,000, 3,000, 3,000, 2,000. So these are people who are using the app, even though these are not realized profits because it is on the testnet. You can see that there are individuals who are making money. There's actually an interesting read here. Maurice Levy, this is an individual who registered his WinQ app, and he is now seeing that he is making about 50 QLC tokens every day just from utilizing the service. So if you live in a highly populated area, if you live in a major city, having this type of app, you might offer services that might be available to other people. If you're in a rural area, obviously you're not going to benefit from it as much because there might not be as much utilization. But if you're in a high traffic area where offering a cheaper service than what might be offered in a internet cafe or much more secure than a place like Starbucks, then definitely check out WinQ. So, chain consensus. I'm not going to go too much into detail because it gets very complicated, but basically they talk about how proof of work and proof of consensus both have drawbacks. Proof of work is cursed with concentration of hash rate, while proof of service is a game for the rich. The more tokens you have, the higher stake you have, and the more money you earn. They're basically building it so they can separate the transmitting nodes from the ledger nodes. And by doing that, they're able to basically split the way that the functionality will work. The Shannon consensus activity activates inactive nodes called middle class in the ecosystem by assigning them bookkeeping rights. Inactive nodes will be incentivized to do so with rewards. So even though there are certain individuals who basically do the transmission, so 80% of the transmission is usually completed by 20% of the nodes, the other 80% of the nodes sometimes are inactive, and those will be deemed middle class. These middle class nodes would normally not get rewarded in a proof of stake model or proof of work model, but in here they're trying to make it as equal sharing as possible at the same time while keeping security very tight because they're using a proof of mechanism called proof of transmission and is basically off the workload of the transmission. This is a good representation of how the consensus mechanism works and how it integrates with the whole QLC ecosystem. Here you have the software platforms that are going to integrate. So this is OpenWRT and OpenSwitch, which are software platforms for networks, generally for routers. Then you have Linux and Android, so this could be operating systems for devices that can be building off the platform. So their base stations might be built off of Linux, they might be built off of OpenWRT, most likely OpenWRT. And this is how the consensus mechanism works within the whole platform, and how the security and everything is all built in to the ecosystem. So for developers, there's a lot of good information here. You can actually see the GitHub page. They do link to their GitHub page. Their testnet is not available yet. Right now you can actually look at the WinQ code, but the testnet is not available yet. I think after they do internal tests, that should be available on their GitHub page. I was a little surprised about that. The SDK will be coming soon, so once that's available, it will be here. And then you can check out their dApps. Right now it's only WinQ on the Google Play Store, but once more show up, they'll be available on Google Play. You can also do some bounties for code issues, and you can report the findings. I'm sure there will be bounties for that. And then there's also QLC Launchpad. So if you want to build a platform utilizing the QLC chain, you can actually reach out to them, which I thought was really nice for them to have that functionality. Community, they do have city ambassadors. So if you're looking to become a city ambassador and outreach for QLC Chain, definitely click this link over here and check it out. You can also set up meetups, and they also are hiring. They have a handful of positions available in both Hong Kong as well as remote. So definitely check out their community page on their website. They do have a AMA with the CEO, Susan Zhao. Definitely check that out on their YouTube page. It was done about 3 weeks ago, but there's a lot of great information. It's about an hour long, well worth the watch. Definitely check it out. So they talk about how they changed their name from QLink to QLC Chain, and how they have a new name and a new journey. As a quick overview, this is a great synopsis of exactly what they're doing as far as technical terms. So QLC Chain deploys a multi-dimensional block lattice architecture and uses virtual machines to manage and support integrated smart contract functionality. So this is the network as a service. Additionally, QLC Chain utilizes dual consensus mechanism, the delegated proof of stake, and the Shannon consensus, which is a novel consensus model developed by the QLC Chain team. Through the use of the dual consensus mechanism and the multi-dimensional block lattice architecture, QLC Chain is able to perform a higher number of transactions per second, provide massive scalability, and inherited decentralized environment for network as a service related decentralized applications. So they have scalability, transactions per second, and decentralized environment. So here's the article talking about the partnership with Binance and how the BNB will support the QLink ecosystem. Basically, you will have the ability to buy QLC tokens directly from the application if you have a Binance token in your wallet in your WinQ application. So basically, the partnership could increase BNB adoption as the user base of QLink grows. The close collaboration sets an example for the industry to strengthening both parties. There's new use cases to the BNB ecosystem, as well as providing a huge liquidity for the QLC chain, because not as many people going into WinQ would know about the QLC token. More people might know about Binance being one of the top exchanges in the world. Having the Binance support, I believe, will create a huge liquidity for the WinQ application. And then there's the talks about the partnership between DWS and QLC Chain. They might seem very similar if you go to DWS's website, but through the partnership, DWS will leverage several technical aspects of the QLC Chain ecosystem. DWS's decentralized Wi-Fi sharing system will utilize QLC Chain as a supporting blockchain platform for network management technicalities. So other protocols QLC Chain offers includes decentralized name resolution protocol, billing protocol, decentralized firewall, and decentralized search protocol. With the DWS integration, QLC Chain will address network billing management, network firewall, and network content search. So there's a huge leverage that they're going to be utilizing within both platforms. They both have strong key points, QLC obviously being a much longer vetted project with a lot more technology behind its back. but they do see a vision with DWS. I believe that they're going to be able to utilize their decentralized Wi-Fi sharing network as far as a good partnership. So I'm not going to go into the white paper, but I saw this slide deck from them, which I thought was fantastic, as far as just highlights on why QLC Chain and how QLC Chain basically is going to interact. So what is network as a service? When network infrastructure becomes an on-demand service. So this is a little triangle here with basic human needs, self-actualization, esteem, social needs, safety, physiological needs, air, shelter, water, and then of course they add internet, because everybody needs the internet, right? 2.3 billion people can't live without it. And they talk about how it's going to work. And what's the problem right now? As I mentioned before, there's the problem of privacy, network restrictions, problem of payment, problem of trust, going to a Starbucks, going to a random local coffee shop to get Wi-Fi, or if you're in another country and you need to be able to reach loved ones when you're traveling abroad in a hotel. How do you know it's secure? How do you know it's trustworthy? And this information is where QLC comes in, utilizing their VPN service and their Wi-Fi service and putting it on the blockchain. A good representation of how the decentralized network would work is the different users, the access, the security, the billing, the storage, the routing, and all this information going through the blockchain. And a good comparison between the current versus the distributed internet protocols. Everybody most likely is familiar with HTTP, maybe not as much with SMTP, and most people would probably know DNS. So moving forward, it'll be hash ID resolution and IPFS when it's decentralized. For computing, TCP connections, and moving forward, it'll be decentralized computing, Ethereum, EOS, and other types of platform. Then the network would be Linux OS or the decentralized network as a service. So simplified, how does it work? So to register network-related services, QLC Chain will then turn them into 4 types of basic nodes on the network. Each node can provide service to others. QLC Chain applies a block lattice, multiple account system. Each node will have its own blockchain to record services provided to any user each time a service is provided. For example, Wi-Fi access, VPN access, data transmission. It's a transaction. Smart contract will govern the execution among different nodes, utilizing the dual consensus of DPoS and the Shannon consensus. This is what it would look like visually with the smart contract, the private key for the user, the operator, the multi-dimensional account with the smart contract, and the block lattice. And here's a great visual representation of exactly how the WinQ application works right now. Basically, the Wi-Fi share registers the Wi-Fi network on the ecosystem, configures it up, sets up the reward model, how much they're going to charge. Then that information goes on the gets registered through their Wi-Fi, goes on the public chain. Then the user can actually connect to the shared Wi-Fi, agree to the terms and services, configure the access through the P2P connection between the Wi-Fi and the user. Then the access and identity will be then given to the user through the chain. The Wi-Fi share will get notified. The D app will then broadcast the Wi-Fi info to users, and then the QLC is paid to the Wi-Fi sharer. Right now on CoinMarketCap, their market cap is actually $17.7 million. It hasn't really had too much of a dip with the major issues that we've been having the past few days. The all-time high market cap was about $250 million back in January when we were having our nice bull run. So we are sitting very low when it comes to market cap. QLC token is actually on major exchanges right now, from Binance to KuCoin to Gate.io, where there is a huge amount of liquidity. It is a very well traded coin. I am a big fan of it. What is my general consensus about QLC Chain? Well, I think QLC Chain, as far as a vision is concerned, is out of the park. It's awesome. I don't think people realize that this decentralized network as a service is going to be something that's revolutionary, moving away from all these centralized services that are offered, especially when you're traveling the world. I don't think people realize that Wi-Fi, VPN is a highly utilized platform that's really undervalued when it comes to blockchain, and I don't think people realize this information really is beneficial to people. The application is out there. It's working. People are getting paid. It's a proof of work, guys. They do have working information. Once they are available on their testnet, and then once they're on their mainnet, it's going to be a huge change. They're offering services. They're getting out there. They have great marketing, a great team. They have a great backing of the Neo Global Capital and the Neo team itself. So I definitely think QLC Chain has a lot to go. It is just a very undervalued project at this point, with a huge potential for 2018, 2019. As time goes by this year, we're going to see a huge adoption as people start realizing what this WinQ app is. There's a lot of people who are not utilizing it right now because they are Apple iPhone users, and it is only available on Google Play Store. So I definitely recommend everyone check out QLC Chain, read their white paper, check out the articles, check out their partnerships, check out their YouTube page, their Medium page, all the different sources of social media. They have a lot of information out there. I'm a big fan of the project, and I have been for quite a while. I just have not had a chance to do a review on it. I'm very happy I got a chance to do so, and there should be some follow-up in the next 2 weeks. I'll keep you guys posted. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification for more videos, and have a fantastic day. Thanks again for watching.